Hey guys, today we are reviewing for the Math 6 Ratios and Proportions Part 1 test. So here's my answer key. For every 2 hamburgers sold at South Middle's cafeteria, 5 slices of pizza are sold. So if we have 2 hamburgers, we have 5 slices. So if they want us to write a ratio of hamburgers to pizzas and do this in 3 ways. So 2:5, you can write this as a fraction, 2/5 or with a slash, and then the word 2. Let's look at number 2. The table below shows how many books Joyce has read. In simplest form, what is the ratio of mystery books to her total number of books? So we're doing mystery to the total number of books. And if we add up the books, we get 17 here, plus 5 more is 22, plus 2 more is 24. So we have 10 out of 24, which we know can be simplified by a division of 2 over 2, and we get 5/12. Number 3, Miss Blanton's pug has 8 girls and 4 boys. Zacchaeus said the ratio of girls to boys was 2:1. For reading day, Miss Kubasek's pug group, which also has 8 girls and 4 boys, joined Miss Blanton's group. Zacchaeus said the ratio is still 2:1. Is she correct? Why or why not? So we're finding the ratio of girls, which is 8, to boys, which is 4. And if we simplify, we get 2 girls for every 1 boy, because we're dividing both sides by 4. So if we double this, which is what's happening when we add Miss Kubasek's kids, then we have 16 and 8, which if we divide both by 8, we still get 2 over 1, so it works. So the answer is yes, that is true. Okay, given the following situations, put a check mark whether or not is a unit rate. If it does not have a 1, then it is automatically not a unit rate. Okay? The other stipulation is if it can be added together to form the same category, or if it's the exact same units, then it is not a unit rate. For example, if I had 5 apples to 1 apple, this is not a unit rate. Will you please write that one down? But when we're looking at these two, $4 for 1 gallon is a unit rate, and 45 miles for 1 hour is also a unit rate. So these two are our unit rates, while these two are not. Let's look at 5 and 6 now. On her scooter, Morgan can travel 160 miles on 2 gallons of gas. How far can she travel on 1 gallon? So we always do miles per hour or miles per gallons. So we're going to label this miles and 2 gallons. Then we want to know how many she can travel on 1 gallon. So how do we get from 2 to 1? A division of 2. So when we divide by 2, we get 80. So she can travel 80 miles on 1 gallon. How many gallons will it take her to travel 20 miles? So we are looking again at 160 out of 2 gallons. And we're setting this equal to 20 miles in the numerator. Remember, you have to have like labels in the numerators and the denominators. So how do I get from 160 to 20? So I know to get from 160 to 20, it's a division of 8. So I'm going to divide 2 by 8. And when I do that, I'm going to get a fractional number. 2/8 simplifies to 1/4. So I know she's going to need 1/4 of a gallon. Let's look at number 7. If 6 movie tickets cost $47.70, then what is the price of each ticket? So I'm looking at, $47.70 is my money. And I always put money over items, so over 6 tickets. And I'm going to then figure out how much I'm paying for one ticket. So I divide by 6, and when I do that, put that in your calculator, 4770 divided by 6, and we are paying $7.95 per ticket. Mr. Freeze sells frozen yogurt for the following prices. Again, all of these we're going to do money over items. So $3.12 divided by 4. $5.92 divided by 8. $8.16 divided by 12. And $11.04 divided by 16. Okay, so when I look at these and I simplify them to 1 ounce, this one is 78 cents, 74 cents, 68 cents, and 69 cents. So if I were to pick one, I would want the 12 ounces for $8.16 because it is the cheapest per ounce. Let's look at 9. There are 45 boys and 65 girls in 6th grade choir. Ryan claims that the ratio of boys to girls is 9/13, or 9/13. So we are going to look at 45 out of 65, and we want to know if that equals 9 out of 13. Well, how do we get from 45 to 9? We divide by 5. So if we divide 65 by 5, we also get 13. So Ryan is correct because they are equivalent ratios. There are 40 boys registered for summer adventure camp at the Science Center. The ratio of boys to girls is 2 to 3. So for every 2 boys, there are 3 girls. How many girls are registered for the camp adventure if we know that there are 40 boys registered? Okay, so we're looking at 40 as our top number in the numerator because it pairs with the boys here. And 2 times 20 gives us 40. So 3 times 20 gives us 60 girls. And that's where we get our answer here. 4 Patriot Spirit wristbands cost $6. How many wristbands can you purchase for $14? Support using a mathematical model. Okay, so I know you can set up a proportion to solve, but instead, this time they want you to use a mathematical model. They're going to want you to draw this out. They want you to say, okay, 4 costs $6. So I'm going to start with my items on the bottom and my money on the top. Okay, so I know that I'm selling 4 wristbands, which goes here, because this would be 1 wristband, 2 wristbands, 3 wristbands, and $6 is the cost. So how much would I be paying for 2 wristbands? I'd be paying $3. So how much would I be paying for 1? $1.50, because 6 divided by 4 is $1.50. Okay, I'd be paying $4.50 for 3 wristbands. Okay, so we want to know how much we're paying in order to spend, or how many wristbands we would get if we had $14. So let's start by continuing our wristbands this way. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll stop here and we'll see what we can do. I know if I double this, I get 8. So it would cost me $12 for 8 wristbands. I know if I double this one, it would be 4, which I got already. Excuse me, not that one. Not if I double the 3 and the 2, but the $4.50 and the 3, that would give me 6. And I know that I would be paying $9. So 9 and 12, are those 14? Nope, we need to go further. So I'm going to keep going here. And I know that this is going 3, and then skip 1, 6, and then skip 1, 9, then skip 1, then 12, then skip 1. It's all about problem solving. So this is 15. So I know that here to here is going to be a difference of 3, right? Because here it was going up by 150. So this would be $13.50, $12, $15, $16.50. So I know my $14 is in between these two, so I can buy 9 wristbands. Okay, in the next one, Daniel's making chocolate milk. He mixes 2 ounces of chocolate syrup with 8 ounces of milk. Use a ratio table to show how many ounces of milk for 50 ounces of chocolate milk. So you can start a ratio table by putting your chocolate syrup here, your milk here, and your total here. Or you can do like we've done in the past, where you have a double number line. And this one, let me just erase and start over here. Where this one is your chocolate syrup, your milk. So for 2 ounces of chocolate syrup, I need 8 ounces of milk, and that's a total of 10. If I have 4 ounces of chocolate syrup, I have 16 ounces of chocolate milk, and that's 20 total ounces of product. 6 ounces of chocolate syrup and 24 ounces of chocolate milk makes 30 total ounces, of regular milk makes 30 total ounces of chocolate milk. 8 ounces of chocolate with 32 ounces of milk makes 40 ounces of chocolate syrup and milk together, or chocolate milk. And here we have 10 ounces of chocolate syrup and 40 ounces of milk to make 50 ounces of chocolate milk. So if we're trying to figure out how much milk Daniel needs to make 50 ounces of chocolate milk, he needs 40 ounces of milk. 13 and 14 go together because we're looking at a ratio table and we have to fill in these 2 pieces. So when I looked here, they gave me 84. So I could start at 60 and ask myself, okay, if I add 24 to it, I get 84. So add 4 and 10 and get 14. You can think of it that way. Or you can ask yourself, how many times does 12 go into 84? Well, it goes in 7 times. So times 7, so 2 times 7 gives me 14. And then ask yourself how many times it goes into 96. Well, it goes in 8 times. So 12 times 8 and 2 times 8, and that equals 16. Okay, so once we fill in our ratio table, now we can graph. Remember, it needs to talk. It needs a title. Your axis needs to be labeled and go up at the exact same rate. And then we plot our points. Okay, remember, you always put this one on the x-axis, which is the one that's horizontal, and this one on the y-axis, which is the vertical line. Okay, so these are my labels. So Campers is increasing by 12 every time. So we start at 0, and I'm going to go up by 6s or 12s. It doesn't matter. Let's go up by 6s just so I have a little bit of room. 6, 12, 18, 24. But if I go up by 6s, I might not make it. So I'm actually going to change my mind and go up by 12s. Sometimes you might have to change your scale and go back. So 36, 48, 60, and then 72, 84, 96, and so on. Okay, over here, I'm going to go up by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And now I can plot my points. Let's plot. For 12 campers, there are 2 counselors. For 24, there are 4. For 48, there are 8. For 60, there are 10. For 84, there are 14. And for 96, there are 16. But we're still not done. Now we need to use a straight edge, which I don't have, so I'm going to do it as, nope, that's horrible. Now you should be using a straight edge, so yours should look a little bit better. And then you make sure you have the arrow. And that's all I've got for you today. See you next time.